Welcome to my parlor. Welcome, traveler, to the Hidden Corner Finds. I am Joanne, and this is my humble store. Pull up a chair, stay a while, make yourself at home. What? Oh, you want to know what I'm selling? Everything and anything. In short, I have a passion for. Ugh, why did it just bleep me? All I said was, I have a passion for picking, I said. Yeesh. You can't say anything on YouTube these days without this censorship. Anyways, as I was saying, I have a passion for picking. For me, there is nothing more satisfying than finding a unique and forgotten item and uniting it with someone who will really appreciate it for years to come. Whether it's a soapstone carving, an old book, or simply a mug to make you laugh, I try and find something for everyone. My goal is to make you a confident buyer. Older items often have a lifetime of stories to tell. I strive to describe the good as well as the bumps and bruises they've experienced along the way. It's important that the pictures reflect what you will receive. To that end, I always encourage questions and will do my best to respond as quick as possible. Appreciate you stopping by the store. If you can't find what you're looking for, please don't hesitate to contact me. I'm always looking for new ideas and will keep an eye out for your item in my travels.
Honey, what the happened to my action figure collection?
Whoops, gotta go. Bye.
And hello, and welcome back to Soul Search Sunday with Johnny Tiger on November 26, 2023. I spent a lot of time out there in the cold today, doing the last of our November workshop, which I say it was a lot of fun, but ooh, it was cold. And as those of you who've been in the cold know that when you're in the cold for extended period of time, you end up just get tired. You're tired for the rest of the day, even after, uh, especially after you get warm and get some food in your belly. This is to say that energy level is a little bit low. So if this episode is not as fluent as normal, not that I'm normally all that fluent to begin with, uh, I'm tired. Okay, I'm like really tired. Um, But still, we want to get a Soul Search Sunday out there. And today we're going to tackle this question: why won't your kids talk to you? Yeah, I think a lot of parents, especially older parents with adult children, have this question in their mind: Why won't my kids talk to me? I so want to be part of their life. I want to have conversation with them, but why won't they talk to me? I hate to say this because this sounds like I'm blaming the victim, but calling an ace. A lot of time, kids refuse to talk to you because of your own doing. Um, One of the primary reasons why a lot of kids won't talk to their parents, they will avoid their parents, is because whenever they say something, no matter what they say, uh, the parents answer with criticism. Now, as a parent, you may feel that it is your right, it is your duty, it is your God given duty to criticize, to point out what your kids are doing wrong. And you feel that if you don't do that, they won't know how to survive. But that's not true. Okay? Your kids may not survive as well without you, but they will survive. And they definitely can survive just fine without your criticism. in fact, most of the time when you criticize what they do, when you try to give out these little pointers, little jabs, little uh, reinforcement, the effect is not going to be what you think it's supposed to be. Uh, One of the primary reasons why a lot of parents feel that they have to criticize, 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 they have to uh, uh, give harsh reprimands, they have to give harsh feedback. They can't, aka they can't talk like a normal human being. It's because that they feel that they are too superior. They feel that their dignity does not allow them to get down to their kids' level. And this one is very, very problematic because, as most of us know, if you want effective communication, then you need to start off thinking that the other person and you are communicating on an equal footing. So, if in your head, for example, okay, when I was a teenager, I couldn't communicate with my dad because whenever I would say something, I would challenge his view. If I say something to disagree with him, then his first line of defense is, if you are living under my roof, you're spending my money, then you do what I say. And you can't argue that. At least I couldn't argue that. And in some ways, I even agreed because, yeah, okay, I was spending his money. I was living in his house. So you know what? As soon as I could, I left. I stopped living in his house. Stopped spending his money. And you know what? I also stopped trying to talk to him. Right? So you may feel that whether morally, financially, experience wise, it gives you the high ground, it lets you ride the high horse. But that high ground can get very lonely because eventually your kids won't want to talk to you. If all you do is criticize, if all you do is pointing out where they're doing what they're doing is wrong, all you're doing is take them down a peg or two. I would so love to be able to talk to my parents. Like I do talk to them. Okay, I call my mom quite often. I talk to my dad not as often, but I try to stay in contact with him. But we don't talk. Okay, it's more like I call them to let them give me a piece of their mind, to let them get things off their mind. But how much do my parents really know about what I do, what I feel, what I think, what are my plans? They don't know anything, right? I don't talk to them. How much do I wish that I can talk to my mom about sparring in martial art? As Kitten and some of my friends can attest, sometimes after I spar in martial art, I'm so giddy with joy, with energy. I just want to talk about it. Sometimes when I get a new action figure, I'm so happy or so disappointed by it, I just want to talk about it. Sometimes when I finish a new piece of artwork, I just wish someone can sit down and ask me, hey, like what was the thought behind this? What were you thinking about when you did this? And why did you do it this way? I want to be able to talk to my parents about art, about martial art, about things that matter to me, but I can't. Why? Because the moment I talk to them about, well, let's just take martial art for example. The moment I talk to my mom about martial art, my mom is going to say, you know, you're in your 40s now, and you are no longer as strong or as fit as you used to be. You're still, yeah, you're still pretty fit for someone who's in his 40s, but you really need to wrap this up. You can't do this forever. That's not what I want to hear. That's not what I want to talk about. You are killing the conversation before it even starts. Now let's say I want to talk to my father about art. Right? Let's say I finished the art show and I really like it. I want to talk to my dad about art, an art show. And the moment I open my mouth, my father's response would be, well, you better enjoy it while you can, because right now your art is just a novelty for people who like think it's cool that blind people are doing this. The moment they get used to the idea, you're no longer cool anymore because you got to understand that you're not using color, you're not using proper drawing technique, you're not going to be all that exciting to look at once people get used to your style. Yeah, you think I don't know that? You think that's not something I think about? like honestly, what do you think that it's going to benefit me by telling me that? Like, it's not what I want to talk about. Please, just let me have my happiness. Just let me have my laurel while I have it, right? When I win that gold medal, when I say, Dad, I won gold, I just want that pat on the head and say, good job, son. I'm so proud of you. I don't want you to tell me, it's not real gold, right? Yeah, yeah. Oh, sorry, I thought it was real gold. There, how do you like my sarcasm? A lot of time when parents talk to their kids with nothing but criticism, nothing but rebuke, you're going to end up with two kinds of kids. Yes, you're only going to end up with two kinds of kids. One, your kid's going to grow up being a victim, being timid, being shy, unsure of themselves, always having low self-esteem. Okay, that's number one, because you have shown them that they are not good enough. Every time they talk to you, you show them they're not good enough. So your kid's going to end up being having a victim mentality. Number two, just as bad at the other extreme. Number two, when you do this to your kids, you are going to end up with a heck of an edgy, uh, sarcastic, kind of an a-hole kind of a kid. Right? Your kid's going to grow up being very edgy. Your kid's going to treat everybody else like how you treat them. Your kid's going to be defensive, aggressive, sarcastic, and full of criticism. Now, some of you might say, well, yeah, but Johnny Tiger, your parent did that to you, but you're not like that. You're not a victim. You're definitely not a victim, and you're not full of aggression and sarcasm. That's only because you didn't know me when Johnny Tiger was in his 20s. Even my mother, many, many times right now, she would say it to others, she would say it to me. Basically, she says, I'm so glad that you rounded off some of those sharp edges because when you were in your 20s, it was impossible to talk to you. And she's right. When I was in my 20s, I was a fire plug, I was a dynamite. If you are on my good side, you're on my good side. But the moment you did something I didn't like, the moment you did something to offend me, I wouldn't hold back. I would let you have it right in the face. Not with violence, but with words, with sarcasm, with criticism. I didn't hesitate to point out what you did wrong, when you did it wrong, how you could have done it right. How can you be so stupid? Right? And why did I do that? Because I grew up in a family with nothing but criticism from both sides, from my mom and from my dad. So every time I said something, I expected a backlash. In my family, you couldn't say something without repercussion, and most of the time, those repercussions were very negative. So I grew up feeling that I need to be strong, I need to be aggressive, I need to be assertive, I need to be sarcastic, I need to get that low gut punch in before the other person get it in. So that created that kind of personality in my early 20s, and it wasn't until my early 30s that I started to realize, hey, dude, you're not living at home anymore. You don't need that. You can ease off the trigger a little bit. You can just relax, calm down a little bit. I was lucky to have realized that early, but there are many children who grow up bearing that scar of constantly being criticized, constantly being told they're not good enough, and they're in their 40s and they're in their 50s, and they still haven't been able to deal with it. So yeah, parents, when you think you're doing your parental duty by criticizing your kids, when you think that you're doing your parental duty by trying to make them be better, you are just building up a lot of bad feeling. You're not really accomplishing anything. Look, my father, in one moment of clarity, this was back in 2013, before he got diagnosed with dementia, he said to me one time, he said, you know that me and your mother, we've always been very proud of you. You are very strong. You've accomplished things other people can't. We just don't tell you that because we don't want you to stop trying. We want you to keep being the awesome, uh, powerful person, driven person you are. That's why we never tell you that we're proud of you. And at the time, I remember very clearly, I had two thoughts that came into my head simultaneously. One, okay, that's nice to hear. Thanks, Dad. I'm so happy to hear that at least there were times that you were proud of me. But right on the heel of that thought was, what make you think that if you compliment me or give me my due, I would stop trying? What make you think that me trying or not trying have anything to do with you? You're kind of flattering yourself, aren't you, old man? So why do I have such two extreme reactions? Because on an intellectual level, what he said was great. On the intellectual level, I could dig that. I could process that. I understood what he was saying because what he was saying is that, son, I'm sorry for treating you this way, but this is our reason. We had a reason. We might be wrong, but we had a reason. We weren't being nasty to you for no reason. Okay, on the intellectual level, I could understand that. I could dig that. But on the emotional level, it's not okay. Okay, on the emotional level, it will never be okay. So, parent, again, don't do this. Don't criticize or put down your kids and say negative things and do those things to your kids just because you feel that as a mother, as a father, that's what you're supposed to do. No, it's not. No, it's not. It doesn't work. Stop it. Cut it out. Because you keep that up, your kids won't talk to you because it's unpleasant to talk to you. That's pretty much the gist of it. The second reason why a lot of kids don't want to talk to their parents is because parents won't stop badgering, nagging, badgering, bullying. Pick your word, right? Uh, a lot of parents, it's like they got one track mind. No matter what you talk to them about, they're going to go to that topic that they want to talk about that you don't want to talk about. And that makes the conversation very unpleasant for the kids. Because let's take again use myself as a example. Both my parents like to bring up my finance or my lack of finance in my face, and this is so bad that on the first hand, I already mentioned this in the past episode that if one thing that bugged me, one thing that made me feel insecure in my life, kind of hard to believe that Johnny Tiger feel insecure about anything. But if there's one thing that makes me feel insecure, it's the finance. It's my uh, poverty status, right? Uh, I don't feel necessarily ashamed of it, but I definitely don't feel happy about it because I realized when my father was my age, he was already a multimillionaire. When my mom was my age, she was handling millions and millions of dollars, traveling the world. So I already know that I don't match up. Putting that in my face is not going to change that. Okay? Putting that in my face is not going to make me try harder. Putting that in my face is going to make me stop wanting to talk to you because it friggin' hurts. Right? It hurts. I know I'm not making a lot of money. I know I can't, probably will never make a lot of money because I'm blind and partly deaf, and I'm in a country where I have no family resources. None of that I can change. Does it really bother me? Not really, but as long as you don't keep rubbing it in, rubbing my nose in it. Am I okay with the way my life is? Yes, I'm really happy with the way my life is. I'm very, very happy and content. But if every time I talk to you, you're going to remind me how poor I am, then I'm sorry. That means talking to you just end up making me unhappy. I can, this is how crazy it is. I'm not even like making this up. I can talk to my mom and say, oh, the weather is getting really cold. I can start a conversation with the weather. And my mom is going to, within two sentences, well, if you were making more money, then you can afford to leave the heat on all the time. You don't have to conserve heat. I can talk to my dad about food. I say, oh, what did you have last night? I just had soup and noodle last night. My dad, within two sentences, is going to come up with something like, when I was your age, I was having lobster every night. What's going on with you? How come you're just having soup and noodle? I can talk to my mom about I'm not feeling too good. I think I'm coming down with a cold. And my mom would come up with something like, it's because you don't make enough money. You need to eat better. You need to live in a better place. The place you live is all run down and dirty. This is why you get sick all the time. Like, no matter what I say, they're going to circle back to the one thing I don't want to talk about. So I try my best not to talk to them. Right? So, parents, sometimes you have something on your mind you think is very important. You think that if you don't keep bringing it up, it's never going to change. Well, guess what? Keep bringing it up, it's still not going to change. The only thing that's going to change is your kids won't talk to you. Because take my situation. You keep badgering me about not making money, not making money, not making money. You're not solving the problem. You're telling me the problem. You're telling me something I already know is a problem. You're not giving me any solution. Now, if you really think you have the solution, then you tell me, hey, have you tried this? Have you tried that? But more than anything else, leave it the F alone. Okay? If your kids don't want to talk to you about a certain topic, marriage, relationship, money, sexual preference, gender, politics, leave it alone. You keep badgering them with that, with something they don't want to talk to you about. You are just going to force them, either they don't want to talk to you or they'll end up being very rude to you in your face. Right? Don't push it. Respect boundary and back off when you sense that they don't want to talk about that particular topic. The third reason why a lot of kids don't want to talk to their parent, this one is very much related to the second one, is that there is a difference of opinion, a opposite in value, a disagreement in principle. Okay, so a lot of parents seem to think what's good for them is what's good for you. When they were little, they built tree houses, so now you should be building tree houses. What's this PlayStation nonsense? You should ditch your PlayStation and go build tree houses. Okay, that is nonsense. Parent and kid live in completely different time, completely different generations. Schools different, values different. What is cool back then is not cool today. What is cool today is not cool back then. Sometimes there's no solution. You're not going to come to an agreement on these things. For example, for many, many years, my mother tried to badger me out of collecting action figures. She did everything she could, like bring up my poverty status. If you didn't buy so many toys, then you would have more money. Or she would make other remarks like, isn't it embarrassing if you bring girls home and they see that you collect toys? And she would make other remarks like, these toys are just like for children. Right? Are you a child? Why are you collecting toys? She tried all kind of ways, and honestly, in the beginning, I tried to be very patient and explain to her it's a child of my it's a part of my childhood. It's something that makes me happy. Yada yada yada. There's a lot of adult collectors. There's nothing wrong with me. No, I'm not mentally challenged. But she wouldn't leave it alone. She made it her objective, her purpose to try to cure me of this disease that was collecting action figure. Until one time, and I told this story before, so I'm sorry, but it is relevant. Until one time when I got so angry, I said, okay, okay, fine. I'm going to go sell off my childish toy collection tomorrow. I'm going to stop buying action figure and I'm going to start doing adult things. I'm going to start smoking cigarette. I'm going to do drug. I'm going to drink alcohol. I'm going to get prostitute. I'm going to go gamble my money away. Will that make you happy? She never brought up my action figure collection ever again after that. It took me getting really rude, really angry to finally get that point across. Look, we are not going to agree on this topic. Drop it. A lot of parents, unfortunately, don't know when to quit. So they constantly bring up things that will lead to nothing but argument. And if you know that you have different view in politics, then don't mention politics. If you know that you support different sport team, then don't talk about sport team. If you know that you have different principle in what's fun, PlayStation versus building tree houses, leave it be. Don't go there. Don't go there. Tread around those topics. Talk about something that you have in common with. Don't try to constantly try to change your kid's mind. Don't try to talk about things that just going to piss yourself off and lead to nothing but argument. Okay, learn to identify what's okay to talk about and what's not okay to talk about. And your kids will find it a lot more fun talking to you. So we have identified three reasons why parents make it so hard for kids to talk to them, or kids don't want to talk to them. One is because there's superiority complex. Parents think they need to criticize, they need to put down, they need to rebuke. Number two is parents, they badger and bully and try to press and press and press to get their point across. And number three is parents don't know how to pick the right topic. They keep going into territories where there's a conflict of interest, difference of opinion, etc., etc. So now that I identified three problem areas for you, I'm going to give you three solutions, three things that if you uh, do these things, it will improve your communication with your kids a lot. Item number one, the first thing that will help you improve your communication, help you have better talk with your kids. Don't be so eager to criticize. Okay, we already talked about criticism. We already talked about the kind of damage it can do. When you are so eager to jump in with your criticism, you're killing the conversation, you're dead end the conversation. And this is not just with your kids, this is with anybody. Your spouse, your brother, sister, your friend. Okay, if you are the kind of person that whenever your friends say something to you, say, like, oh God, I'm having such a hard time in this relationship. And then the first thing that come out of your mouth is, well, you just have to pick a better boyfriend. I already told you that guy is no good, but that's not you didn't want to listen to me. Now look at where you are. You are just desperate. You're just desperate. Yeah, your friend's not going to want to talk to you. Most people, not just your kids, most people won't want to talk to you if the moment that they open their mouth, what they get back is a criticism. So honestly, keep your criticism to yourself. Uh, Only give your criticism when it's warranted, when the person actually asks you for your criticism. But otherwise, yeah, try your best to keep it to yourself. Things will go a lot smoother with your communication with other people. Number two, don't be so eager to hijack someone else's conversation. A lot of time when kids talk to their parents, they end up can't say anything. They don't get a chance to say anything because the moment they say something, the conversation get hijacked and they end up listening to the parents. And an hour later, okay, I'll talk to you later, mom. Bye. And then, okay, now mom feeling good. Mom got everything off her chest. How does the daughter feel? Bad, because now the daughter didn't get anything off her chest, and she just listened to an hour, listening to her mom's problem. So she got her own problem, and now she got her mom's problem compounded on top of that. Okay, uh, I'll give you a true experience because my mom is like really bad at doing this. Uh, During COVID, there was one time when I was feeling a little bit down, so when I was talking to my mom on the phone, I said to my mom, I always thought that I would be okay to stay home a lot because I like to stay home. I always have things to keep me occupied, but man, this COVID thing is really hard. I haven't seen my friend for a long time. Now, I'm expressing how bad I'm feeling. I'm hoping for some motherly pat on the back. Uh, and say, yeah, I know, son. I hope your friends are okay, and stay strong. This will be fine. No, I didn't get that. What I got was, well, you think you're the only one this is happening to? It's like that all over the world. I haven't been out of the house for 2 weeks. It's driving me nuts. How do you think I feel? Like 2 weeks ago, I went out and I had to wear a mask and then blah, 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 blah. I spent the next half an hour listening to how bad it's making her feel. And I was like, how about me? Like this little voice inside me. Go, how about me? Nah, she didn't care. Um, so parents, when you talk to your kid, again, it's not just your kid. This is like basic conversation skills. When you talk to anybody, don't hijack the conversation. A conversation, if you want to be someone who people like talking to, the conversation should be more about them and less about you. So use more you and less me, less I. Right? It should be how do you feel? What are you up to? Uh, Versus I'm telling you, or I got that too, and how do you think I feel? Okay? It should be more about the people you're talking to if you want the conversation to be enjoyable for other people. Last but not least, if you want your kids to like talking to you, learn to apologize. Yeah, learn to apologize. So many parents, when they make a mistake, they don't apologize, or they do a roundabout way of apologizing, or they wait until the kids are all pissed off before they grudgingly apologize. And that apology is not genuine. It's just like, okay, okay, fine, I'm sorry. You happy now? I'm sorry. But are you really sorry? No. In your head, you're thinking, I'm just going to tell you I'm sorry, even though I'm not, and you're supposed to forgive me. We're supposed to move on from here. That's not a genuine apology. Learn to apologize. Learn to say you're sorry. A lot of time you said something that's messed up, you did something that's messed up, and your kids are mad. Learn to accept that you are human, you are flawed, everyone's flawed. It is okay to apologize. A lot of parents feel that if I apologize, and then that demeans, that degrades me, that lower my image as a father or as a mother. No, it doesn't. By not apologizing, you degrade yourself. By not apologizing, you lower your image in your kid's mind. If you did something wrong, if you said something wrong and you apologize right away, your kid is going to grow up thinking, well, mom's really cool. She makes mistakes sometimes, but you know what? She's always okay to acknowledge it. She always apologizes, so that's fine. If you don't apologize or you apologize in genuine way, your image in your kid's heart, in your kid's mind, is that of a loser. It's that of an a-hole. My mom is such an a-hole. My dad is such an a-hole. They think they're high and mighty, and they clearly were wrong, and they still want to be stubborn. They don't want to apologize. Okay, so that's the difference. It's make in your kid's mind. You want to be a person who has flaws but willing to apologize, or that a-hole who never apologizes. Yeah, it's your choice. But yeah, if you want your kids to have a better time talking to you, learn to acknowledge your own faults and learn to apologize in a genuine fashion. I hope that this episode managed to help some people lift some weight off of your heart. I am not a parent. I will probably never be a parent, but I have been a child. I have had really harsh parents, so I feel that on a very personal level, I am able to talk about this from a child's point of view. Like it? Hate it? Let me know in the comments.